Full-time reaction to Livingston now, Celtic 3. I've got Darren with me to go over it. Darren, every 3 points is massive at this stage of the season, but as games go here, that's about as comfortable as it gets, isn't it?
Aye, well, you look at Livingston on the table, they're pretty much done, so you fully expect us to come here and win comfortably and finally keep a clean sheet. The first half kind of went as well expected. We dominated the ball. It was good. We good possession. We kept it in Livingston's half, but it was a bit maybe lethargic in the final third, and we're lacking a bit of end product. Maeda put 3 or 4 crosses into like Rosette, and we were getting to the byline stuff, but there was no real attempts. I can't remember the keeper making any saves.
One for Hatate on the edge of the box early.
That's right. I just went wide of the post, but other than that, there was nothing really to worry about. But I wasn't really worried at half time, and I thought the second half we looked much more up for it. The intensity was there. The goal comes just like a scrappy goal, but that gives the team the confidence. I noticed that after 1-0 the fans started cheering and the players they looked more relaxed and it was more fluid. And then when you get 2-0 and then you get 3-0, everything just starts getting more and more exciting. Hatate coming back, I thought it was outstanding. I thought as well, like putting him in that centre midfield, he just positions himself so well. If you watch him when we have the ball in our centre back area, he puts himself where there's no player near him, so he can always take the ball. And the first thing is he does that half turn so well, and that lets us just move forward without Livingston being fully in position, so we can start attacks for there. Kuhn, brilliant. I can't believe how much we pretty much wrote him off after his first couple of games. But I was away for the last few games there at home, but I've heard that it was really good. And the day seeing him in person, I thought it was fantastic as well.
Aye, it was much better. A couple of things I think you're right on Hatate. He protects the ball really well, so when he's taking in a half turn, he can eliminate a player immediately. But the thing I love about him, I don't think we've got enough of it in midfield, and we've saw it time and time again this season, is he likes to play a forward pass, he likes to take risks, he's got a bit of vision as well, he trusts his ability to play a forward pass. I think so often this season in midfield we've been so slow to go through the thirds, and at times we've played it far too safe, but Hatate's never like that. He's always trying to take a risk, he's always trying to make things happen. And even though the first half we didn't create very much, everything that we almost created came through Hatate.
Aye, that's right. There was a few moments in the first half where he was getting that ball maybe 40, 50 yards in Livingston's half, and he was making like those curling through balls down to the corner, just not even penetrating the defence, but getting in behind and allowing us to get to the byline and maybe try and work some crosses for there. I think it will be good seeing Hatate play when McGregor comes back, but it's a bit of a conundrum because I thought Iwata was fantastic as well today. I'm curious to see if McGregor's back for next week. How does that work, do you think, with Iwata? Because Iwata was brilliant today. I think he has to start, but he can't drop O'Reilly, he can't drop Hatate, so it's probably going to be Iwata that has to drop
it's
out.
It's hard with Iwata. I think he's brilliant. See recovery runs and making tackles and interceptions today. I thought he was absolutely
going
brilliant.
Forward, it doesn't
but I think going
much.
forward, particularly in the first half, he did grow into the game, but I thought in the first half on the ball he was quite poor, too safe at times. I know he's a sitting midfielder and that's his job, but you're right, I think off the ball, but at times in the second half he was getting back, he was making key interceptions, he was really, really good defensively. Iwata. The only concern with McGregor next week is how sharp is he, because he's not played for 4 or 5 weeks. I think if he's ready, I mean, Brendan Rodgers said he's got a very good chance of taking part next week. He's a captain. He's key for us in these games against Rangers. I think he's almost guaranteed to come back in if he's ready. In the second half, much better. We get the goal at a good time, as you mentioned. I think we got into good wide positions all afternoon, but I think at times if the final ball had been a bit better, we could have got a few more goals as well.
I think so. I think we got to the byline, as I said, so many different times, but even with Taylor and Johnson, they seem to want to try and like just thud the ball into the box, and it's basically just going over everyone's head and out for a throw-in. But I don't mind that because I said to you maybe like 5 minutes before the end of the game, it's something that we've not done enough of this season, get to the byline. A lot of the times we get down to the byline and the wingers or the fullbacks are so hesitant just to cut inside, and it's just going round in a big circle. But that was a lot more penetrative, just getting ball over the top and getting to the byline, dragging defenders out of position. I know we didn't make much opportunities from it, all the goals kind of came through the middle, but it's good to try that.
Aye, absolutely. Bernardo comes on, scores a really good goal, low shot for the edge of the box, and I think the third goal's maybe the pick of the bunch. We had a couple of good moves, different points in the game where we'd worked it well, as you say, getting to the byline, but nothing at the end of it. But I think there was really good interchange, and Matt O'Reilly finishes it well. Kuhn, I thought, was brilliant all afternoon, as you mentioned as well. I think that's maybe one for the manager next week. Does he stick with Kuhn, because that's 3 good performances in a row now? Yang was hitting a wee bit of form just before he got suspended, so maybe a headache for him in the wide position next week as well.
Aye, headache, but I think if you look at it, it has to be Kuhn. I mean, Yang, he was suspended for however many games, and somebody said to me that he got a knock when he was playing for South Korea, so it has to be Kuhn, and obviously Maeda's going to play there on the left. I think he'll have a lot more space next week, which is good for him, because sometimes when you watch him, he's not got that composure, and then if there's 2 or 3 players around him, he kind of just loses his head a wee bit. But at Ibrox, he's got that space to kind of run, more importantly try and nullify James Tavernier as well. So the front three is going to be set. It's going to be Kyogo, I think, for sure. I didn't even see him touch the ball today, really, apart from the penalty, which we should have got. But
we should have covered that, actually, the penalty. Seen it back there just on a clip at half time. Looked a penalty to me, looked a decent shout for a penalty. Kyogo gets his foot to the ball, gets his body in, and Devlin sort of kicks through his back foot.
Don Robertson's a fantastic ref, isn't he? And I don't know who was on VAR, but they never sent him over. But that's just our luck, innit?
Aye. I think going into next week as well, he wanted to keep a clean sheet today. I think we've known a clean sheet for 6 matches. Livingston barely threatened. I don't think Joe Hart had a save all afternoon, but we did play them in the Scottish Cup a couple of weeks ago, and they managed to get 2 against us at Celtic Park. So vital for everybody's confidence, but particularly the defence to keep them out today and build going into next week.
I thought Carter Vickers today was amazing. I know we had very little defending to do, as you say. Joe Hart never had a save to make, but that's partly down to him. Livingston have always had big, huge unit strikers, and if you notice Carter Vickers, like, he's not the tallest, but he's broad and he's not shy to go in and get stuck in, and I thought he'd done that really well today. Liam Scales is Liam Scales. He splits opinions, but maybe against a tougher team like Rangers, I'm sure some people will be criticising him, but I thought the day he didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, I'm happy with the clean sheet, and I think it's hard to say if we won't concede at Ibrox, but I think we will concede. But I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. Just hopefully we can score more than Rangers.
Aye, that's it. I think today the atmosphere was really good, and I thought the fans stuck with the team. You could tell before the game, roaring them on, but even getting into half time where we hadn't created a great deal in the first half, it's 0-0. These games are difficult for supporters because it's never a brilliant spectacle, but you could tell that we were right there with the team, and the reaction to the first goal and then pushing the team on in the second half was really good. And even the scenes at the end as well with the celebrations, you can see, I think the players can see how much it means to the supporters. They know that, and that's massive going into next week, where obviously there'll not be a Celtic fan in the stadium.
Even the pre-match build-up with the tifo and the banner, it's just not something you see. It's only a kind of thing you see with Celtic. And then, like you say, there's been times that, especially at Celtic Park, where if it's gone into half-time at nothing each, you can hear the grumbles around about you. But not like that today. I'm not saying they got applauded off the pitch at half-time, but there was no panic. But probably partly down to the fact that we're playing Livingston, and you know that it was only a matter of time before we did score. So yeah, it's good to see something like that.
Few candidates for man of the match today. We've already mentioned Hatate, Kuhn, Carter Vickers as well. Who gets it for you today?
Well, it was down to 4. It was Carter Vickers, Iwata, Hatate or Kuhn, but I'm going to pick Kuhn. I thought he was just fantastic on the wing, especially the second half. Very direct, kind of almost reminds me of Jota a wee bit that day. Not saying he's Jota. I'm not saying he's Jota, but just that way that he takes the ball, and he was always looking forward, and he was always wanting to take on his man. It was very Jota-esque. Hatate as well, coming back first game, can it be hard because he took off after 60 minutes. He was probably tired, but very comfortable. Iwata brilliant, Vickers brilliant, but Kuhn.
Aye, good afternoon all round for the Hoops, back to the top of the table, playing that game extra. We go to Ibrox next week. We'll see you for the build up to that next Friday. Thank you for watching. See you then. Cheers.